Welcome to the Soulcery Podcast, your sacred space to delve into spiritual tools, topics, and practices that will illuminate your path of soul remembering and healing. I'm your host, Ligia Costa, a soul guide, alchemist, soul writing coach, and the creator of the Trust Pathway. I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me. Together, we'll embark on a profound exploration of self-discovery and healing, unlocking the secrets that lie within. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Soulcery Podcast. And today the episode is for my fellow highly sensitive people, the highly sensitive souls of this world. And if you're here today, I sense that you've been carrying more than you should. Maybe you've been stretched too thin by life's demands that you feel you might snap under the weight of it all. So if that's you, know that you're not alone. As highly sensitive souls, we are often asked to navigate a world that feels louder, that feels faster, and more demanding as well, that we were ever meant to bear. But we still push it on, we still try our best, but we might be feeling the pressures that others might not notice, sensing the tensions that lie beneath the surface, that others non-sensitive don't notice. And that causes us to feel drained. And in some cases, it can lead to burnout. So today, this is something that I want to share with you because I would like to help you how to navigate these feelings and avoid getting into the stage of burnout. First of all, burnout is something that we have been taught to fear and to avoid. But there is this misconception as well that burnout is just about feeling extremely exhausted with no batteries at all. However, burnout can be so much more than that and can bring a lot of health issues if it's not treated or prevented earlier. And there is a lot of people in the world going through this and suffering from burnout because in this fast-paced world, even those that are not highly sensitive find themselves battling burnout or being on the edge of burnout. However, for us, that weight feels heavier because our senses are so finely tuned to every shift, every sound, every emotion that carrying this burden of overstimulation in a way that those that are not highly sensitive do not understand can lead us to be on the edge of burnout in a more easier way. And for many of us, burnout begins with the smallest things, simple things like the hum of the city streets or the brightest of lights, deadlines, the constant stream of people that needs more, just take, and never gives to fill our buckets. And then one day, it feels as though something inside of us has broken. And it might not be obvious, but it happens slowly and silently. And one day we just can't get out of bed because we've been pushing through all of it, ignoring the signs that our bodies are giving us. And then one day we just broke down, literally. One of the main causes is also work, our careers, because we are expected to, be around the clock all the time. Our creativity is forced in a way to fit into schedules. We are constantly expected to deliver, and we, in a way, start to feel trapped. And for the highly sensitive person, this pressure doesn't just sit at the surface. It goes deeper. And we feel the weight of every task, every conversation, every unspoken expectation, because we sense it. We sense all these expectations, all these looks, all these, harsh emails or sarcastic emails. And over time, that weight becomes unbearable. Other times, it's just the working environment that doesn't nourish our soul. And we find ourselves in spaces that drain us rather than fills us. Maybe tensions with other work colleagues. Maybe it's a lot of stress, a lot of people shouting, a lot of noises going around, phone ringing, a lot of tapping on the computer maybe, or, in more social work environments, it's even worse with, having to interact with different people and all the stimuli around us that just takes us into this overstimulation and rentless space. And in a way, it all compounds until your system, your body begins to rebel. And that rebellion shows up as burnout. And as I said before, there is this misconception that burnout is just being exhausted, right? But it isn't just physical. It's emotional as well. It's not, for us especially, it's not just being tired or having fatigue. For us, it's the disconnection from our essence, from our soul's calling. It's that separation from our true self, that it's hidden beneath all those layers of overstimulation, of obligation and exhaustion. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about the causes for the burnout in a more deeply way so that you can understand and protect yourself. Be more aware of it and in a way protect yourself from it as well. So for highly sensitive people, burnout can come from many places. As I said previously in other episodes and today in this episode as well, we are overstimulated and basically we are on all the time. We can't switch off. It's the lights, it's the sounds, it's the rush, it's the energy, everything. We are just constantly on, scanning for danger, scanning for threats. And then that added up with our own empathy, which is our gift as highly sensitive, we end up giving more than we should. We give so much of us because we can feel other people's emotions. And if we feel someone is down, because we feel their emotions and we feel that they are not okay, not only are we absorbing their emotions, we are also giving away to them to make them feel better. And then we become drained because we are taking all the not so good to ourselves and giving the good to others to help others. But then there is no replenishment there. There is no reciprocation. And our buckets start to get really, really heavy. And then obviously we like to take our time. We don't like to be rushed. And for instance, when we have deadlines or we have to be creatives but have this creative pressure because we need to birth new ideas, new projects, new concepts, but we struggle to do it on a timeline, that goes against our nature. We need to take our time. We need to be in a good space in ourselves and just let that creative flow come through. And we know that it can't be rushed, but sometimes we have to rush it and we struggle to do that. So it's important to create strategies that will compensate. If you are in a work environment or in a job or in a career where you are feeling this creative pressure, or that you're always with schedules and deadlines and that you're struggling with it, it's really important that outside of work, you nurture your highly sensitivity, you nurture your being so that you can get the creative flow in other ways, but also you recharge your batteries. Because being on the go all the time is so against your nature. You need to create space just for being alone and recharge. Another thing that can cause burnout is relationships. I know, relationships really can be a source of exhaustion. And when we are in spaces that don't honor our sensitivity, where we are misunderstood, where we are not supported, that tension builds up. And it can be at work, it can be at home, it can be in our friendship circle. If we start feeling that weight of trying to meet expectations, and those expectations do not align with our soul, that can wear us down and it can become a lot. So again, it's really important that you find a strategy to deal with this. Maybe you're not in the right space. Maybe your penta, your group, and I had an episode just about this and how we are conditioned, even though we feel that we are in charge and we are the ones choosing our groups, our friendship groups, our family, extended family, we are being conditioned. So it's a very, very interesting episode. I would go back and when you finish this one and listen to that one. But it's just having that awareness that maybe you are not in a group that supports you, that supports your growth. It's important that we are in relationships with people that bring out the best of us, not the worst of us. And so if you start having the awareness that you're not in the right spaces, you get to make the choice, because then is your health that is jeopardy. You can really go through burnout because just the thought of being with so and so, or having a gathering, or going to work, or having a meeting with someone can really take you to a very stressful period, which again will drain your energy. And then you go to those gatherings and those meetings and catch-ups, and you that normally are already on all the time, you'll be even more overstimulated. You'll be more alert, scanning for threats, reading too much the energy, the facial expressions, the body language, the tension, and that will drain you. So again, it's finding what works for you in order to protect yourself from getting into that stage of burnout. But another thing I wanted to remember is that burnout is not a sign of weakness, okay? If you are on the edge of burnout, if you haven't protected yourself enough, and even if you do, and sometimes it just, it gets too much, I don't want you to blame yourself or feel guilty about it, because it is not a weakness. It's simply a sign that you've been carrying too much for too long. And you get to choose to put some of that weight down, okay? So how do you do that? First of all, you start by listening. Listening to your body, listening to your emotions, listening to your intuition. Notice when you start to feel very tired. Notice when your patience starts to run out. When the world feels too loud or too fast. Because these are signs from your body telling you that it's time to slow down. Another way to put that weight down is to strengthen your body, nourish it. Things like having a good sleep schedule, drinking plenty of water throughout the day, eating foods that feel grounding and nourishing, taking time to be in nature, where the world seems to move at a different pace, where you feel more grounded, because this helps to regulate your nervous system. Being in nature, just for a walk, you don't have to go for a run or anything, just for a walk, you can just sit, by the sea and listening to the waves breaking in the shore, a place that you feel calm and at peace. Do more of that, because it helps you to regulate your nervous system and it brings you a pace that is more aligned with your sensitive soul. Another mechanism or coping mechanism or strategy is to learn to meditate. And it's meditation that is not just about quieting your mind, but to give your soul space to breathe. Because we need that. We need that connection with our soul as highly sensitive people. Because in the rush of, our daily lives, going to work, looking after our families, usually put ourselves last, and we don't give our soul that space to breathe. And that is important for us to recharge, to connect with our spirit, with our intuition, with our creativity, with our femininity. That is important. And meditation helps to do that. It will help you to find balance, and it will allow you to step back from the noise and return to your own rhythm. Another strategy is to cut on what no longer serves you. Obligations that drain you, tasks that don't align with your heart, relationships that do not bring out the best in you. These are things that you have permission to let go of, because you are not responsible for the expectation of others. You are not responsible for the image that others have of you, of who you are or what they expect you to be. You are only responsible to be who you truly are and to look after your needs, both emotional, physical, and spiritual, and honor your feelings. And don't be afraid to say no, okay? As highly sensitive people, so many of us struggle with saying no because we don't want to disappoint others, because we don't want to be seen as selfish, because we don't want to upset others, because we don't want to feel rejected. But every time you say no to something that drains you, you are saying yes to your well-being. And that, to me, is more important. And in the end, avoiding burnout is all about learning to honor your sensitivity as a gift and not a burden. And that's another thing. So many of us highly sensitive struggle to see our sensitive as a gift. We hide from it. We try to put this mask that we are stronger than we are. We are strong in our way, but because it's not very socially accepted to be too emotional, too sensitive, too irritable, we hide from it, and we hide it from others as well. And then, yes, obviously it becomes a burden, and the more you burden yourself with this, the more you get into burnout or close to get burnout, because you're not being your true self. You, again, disconnecting from your soul. So just learn to honor your sensitivity, but also remember that you're not meant to carry the weight of the world. Just because you are sensitive, just because you can sense other people's emotions and other people's energies, it doesn't mean that you need to fix everyone or need to fix everything, because that's not your responsibility. You are here to shine, to live, to breathe deeply, to feel deeply, but that requires space. That requires that you have space to rest, space to reflect, space to be. So, to finish this episode, and as you move through your day or through your week and even through your life, please remember that you deserve peace. You deserve to feel light. You deserve to move through the world without the heaviness of burnout on your shoulders. So please, the world needs you so much. The world needs people like you that feel deeply, but take care of yourself, okay? Be gentle with yourself. Because when you protect your sensitivity, you not only avoid burnout, but you thrive, okay? Before I love you and leave you, I'll pull a card from my Trust Journaling deck. And the card that I pulled is from the Soul Suite. And the Soul Inquiry is, what part of me am I not willingly embracing? What part of me am I not willingly embracing? And the affirmation is, the beauty of the world is reflected in me. Again, another spot on journal inquiry from this deck. Is it that your sensitivity is not a part of you that you're not willingly embracing? So maybe journal about this soul inquiry. Why are you not embracing your sensitivity? Where in your past were you taught that you were too emotional, too sensitive, a crybaby, and made you feel like it's wrong to be that way and that you need to be something different? That you need to hide your sensitivity from the world, that it's not appropriate to be sensitive. When did you learn that about yourself? Why are you not willingly embracing your sensitivity? That's a very powerful soul inquiry. I love it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know, reach out to me if this felt helpful to you, if you learned something different, if this was something that you needed to hear. Just leave a comment if you are listening on YouTube. You can also reach out to me on my social media or reply to my newsletter. I'll love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Soulcery Podcast and for holding space for this conversation. It is truly magical to be able to walk with you on this journey of soul healing and inner transformation. If you resonated with this episode and found it valuable, I would be grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes. Your feedback helps me reach more souls searching for guidance and healing. For more guidance and soul wisdom to support soul awakening women through the journey of alchemy, please visit my website www.ligiacosta.co.uk. Love and healing to all. See you on the next one.